Alright, why don't we get into it? Can everybody hear me okay?
I can.
You can, Ryan. Thank you. Ryan, are you able to see the comments?
Yep. I can keep an eye on those.
Yeah, can you keep an eye on those? And so we'll take questions at the end, but Ryan, stop me if there's anything that comes up and that's relevant to what we're talking about, and we can stop, okay?
Awesome.
So thanks everyone for coming today to our virtual RLA information session for next year. There we go. So we'll go through the roles, what you need to do to apply. I'll have some current RLAs talk about their experience, and we should be kind of wrapped up in about 25 minutes, half an hour. And there'll be time for questions. So basically, you know, if you're in residence now, you've seen the RLAs at work. There's quite a lot that they do, and the big picture idea is, you know, they're leaders in residence. They set the culture. They make an effort to get to know people and sort of empower people to get to know each other. They're there during a crisis, whether that's because of a bad decision or having too much to drink or circumstances outside of your control. You know, RLAs are your go-tos, particularly on evenings and weekends. They're there building community, so they run a lot of events, and the idea is to make residence more than just a place where everyone lives, but it's part of that whole undergraduate experience that you're getting when you choose UPEI, which is meeting people and networking and getting different points of view and meeting people from other countries and having that whole experience. The RLAs will also tell you a lot about what's happening in the university, and a lot of messages from me because nobody checks their emails. We've talked about emergency response, and then I think at the end of the day, RLAs are also a UPEI staff member, so there's a high standard of professionalism expected from someone in that role, and the team understands that, and they put a lot of effort into representing UPEI well. So if you become an RLA, basically what the job entails is, and I'll say first, it's not, if I just wanted people to be on duty for 4 or 5 hours a night, you'd be paid an hourly wage, and that's how it would work. But we essentially cover the cost of your single room, or, you know, depending on the new building, it might be a different kind of room. We haven't quite decided yet, but the idea is that you're doing more than just the hours that you're on duty, but the things that you're doing to be an RLA might not always feel like work. They might be things that you do naturally, like getting to know people, or being there for a friend, or doing a fun event, or 90s dance party, or whatever. That kind of might be stuff that doesn't feel so much like work. So there's a scheduled component to the job, which is your on duty, where you're on call and you're responding to things, but there's also an unscheduled, getting to know people, being around, planning and running events element, and the two of them together sort of add up to the compensation that you're paid for the role. So at the start of the year, usually around the 20th, 21st of August, we have training. So you're here before everyone else, but you know, I'm covering food and accommodation for that period. And then you usually don't leave until after the last day of exams of the semester, because we go to do room checks, and we look for random pets that haven't been permitted, and we try and find people who live here that we didn't know about, and things that could start fires and all that kind of stuff, and also leaks. And so it's very important that you're here till the end of the semester, both semesters, that you're here. So like I said, you'll have some duty shifts, so that's shared amongst a team of usually about 6. So some weekends, some evenings, usually about one or two a week. The 2 nights that you're on duty. You're gonna have to get to know everybody on your floor, even the ones that don't answer the door when you knock. If you are one of those people, think about answering the door when people knock. You're gonna do reports, so letting us know what you saw and what you observed and what you responded to while you were on duty and even when you weren't. You're going to run floor meetings with your floor. you'll attend staff meetings with the entire RLA team and with your building. And then the other expectations that sort of sit outside of that is that, you know, when you're not on duty, you're not being a dick and sort of breaking the rules and vaping in your room or causing damage or just essentially not being a leader. That's important. So if you don't like the rules of residence, if you find them restrictive, or you find them hard to follow, then maybe this isn't the right job for you. But I would love to talk to you, and because I think it's important to understand the why. And then also that you keep on top of your studies. So, you know, I'll talk about the requirements from a study point of view, but we really don't want you to fail any courses. We want you to be able to get your degree, and ultimately that's why you're here. So it has to balance with also doing this job. So the big picture with residence is it's not your family's home where mom and dad or whoever looks after kind of most things, but it's also not you living on your own where, you know, your roommate could be a knife-wielding drug dealer and like your landlord could be crazy and everything breaks all the time. It's sort of in between where you can learn some independence, but you don't have all the pressures of looking after everything yourself, and there's lots of supports as you make friends and figure out this whole university thing and grow as a person and discover who you are. It's kind of that intermediate, and so it's about being safe and supportive. Some people figure that out the easy way, and some people have a harder time of it, but we're here to support everyone. I think it's a great job. But I'll get Chanel and Ryan to talk about, you know, their perspective on it, and I really encourage you, if you're thinking about it, talk to your RLA and get the truth, the good and the bad, so you know what you're getting into, because it's not for everyone. It's a leadership experience. It will challenge you. It does mean conflict, stepping into situations, saying no, you can't have that party, no, you gotta go to bed, like, or no, you gotta shut up because it's quiet hours, you know, no, you can't come into this building. That can be challenging for people who haven't had to do that before. Working as a team, making hard decisions, learning about your own personal boundaries, all that stuff is really good and also really challenging. But it does help with your personal skills and your resume building, and ultimately, you know, you'll like this job if you like to help people, and you like to be part of a team. Now, at this stage, I'd love to see if Ryan and Chanel want to answer any of these questions on here. About, I've got some more slides to get to, but I'd just love to pause and hear from some RLAs that we have right now about some of their favorite parts, or any question you want to answer, even something not on here.
Awesome. I'll just kind of joke is I'm not thinking right now. I think my favorite part of doing this job this year was just getting to meet everybody and kind of like helping that development of returning back to like a normal, you know, because after COVID, everyone's been so not social. It's been nice to make it so we have these opportunities to get to meet people, get to enjoy our peers. That's been a great opportunity, and I really enjoyed getting to meet everybody and see the excitement of people finally. There is always going to be things that make any job hard, and as an RLA, I put up with a fair amount. It's, as Laura said, like telling people, no, you can't do this, you can't. That's always been hard, because as someone that I love people, so it's hard for me to tell people no. But I think through this job, I really learned that skill, so that's been really awesome. If there's anything I really wish I knew before I started, not really. I don't feel like most of what you can know is, you know, before you go. Like, you need to know the stories and what you kind of learn from it. And I learned by experience with that. So I guess like anything would be, just anything I could learn would be through like a story I get from an RLA, not really from like one specific thing. Like, this is going to be a challenging part. It'd be more like, how would you handle this? Which you'll get through the interview process if you do apply. Like, my qualities of being a good RLA, I always found I had like people skills. I've always been one to want to go out and hang out with people and just really enjoy living in residence, because that's all I very enjoyed residence and just promoting that environment. So that's all been pretty awesome. But if you guys have any questions, just feel free to put them in the chat or leave them to the end. And yeah. Oh, I'm perfect. Chanel can now do it again.
Hi, guys. I'm so sorry. Is it ever meeting online if there isn't any technical difficulties? All right. Let me see. Okay, so what made me want to become an RLA? So when I got on the island, I'm from Ontario, and my parents both didn't go to university, so I was really the first one in my family to experience university. And I really didn't understand like how the process of like moving in happened, and like our NSO week of not having classes and going to activities. Everything was super weird to me. But the RLAs really helped me out understand like what university life is and how to become like how to be a good resident to live in residence. And I really appreciated that, and I really wanted to be able to do that for other people and help them out to have the same good experience as I did on my first year. So that's really what pushed me to want to become an RLA, and I'm very happy that I did because I really love this job. So yeah. I feel like good qualities that helped me become a good RLA is being kind of a go-getter and wanting to be involved in a lot of activities. That helps me get some good creative ideas for like activities that residents would want to do instead of for like people with low energy and then people with high energy. I feel like it's good to get everyone involved to find something that they like to do. So I feel like that was pretty good to have for the job. And yeah. Do you want me to keep going, Laura?
No, that's great. That's really good. Thank you.
I don't want to put you behind too much. I'm sorry for joining.
No, it's all good. You're doing great. Yeah, so let's continue unless there's any kind of questions at this stage for these guys, and we can always come back to it. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All right. Where's the slides? Here we go. All right, so let's talk about whether you qualify to be an RLA. Here we go. So minimums, obviously full-time student status. We'd like it to see a copy of your degree audit report, so you just get that from my.upei, and it's the unofficial one. You don't have to request anything official, but like I said before, we really just want you to be successful in your academics here, so just kind of showing us that you prioritize that and this isn't going to put that in jeopardy is important. Residence living experience at UPI or somewhere else is also fine. If you have lived here, you know, how many times did your name show up in an incident report? Because, you know, we're looking for someone who's happy to follow the rules. We don't think that they're that restrictive. And so, yeah. Having a good rapport and being someone that other residents get along with is important. But that doesn't mean you have to be an extrovert or the party planner. There are lots of different personality types that make up a good team. So, you know, being the best version of you, but not the version that pees in the elevator or breaks things or steals posters, if you please. And then sound knowledge of the university. So did you get out of your room this year? Did you participate in things? And the year's not over yet. So if you kind of did hide for your first semester, you know, lots of RLAs have that story as well. But yeah, if you didn't enjoy residence events as a resident, my guess is you probably won't enjoy them as an RLA. So just something to think about, because I do want you to like this job. All right. So there are a few restrictions that you'll see. RLAs are typically not allowed to hold a position with the student unit executive because those are quite intense and time-consuming roles. Varsity teams are also, for the same reason, they're doing a lot of road trips. They're away a lot, which is just going to make it harder for you to, first of all, work with your team and cover your share of the on-duty, but then also get to know your residents and be there for them when they need help. So, if either of those applies to you and you're not sure, come and talk to me. But we really just want you to be successful here. Other employment. I will make the occasional exception for shorter kind of hour jobs on campus, like maybe a tutoring or a TA kind of a job, but I would definitely like to talk to you before you accept any other employment. And the idea is, sometimes other jobs will take priority, and we really want you to have the time. This is such an important job. It needs to be something that you have time to do well. And then the same thing with more than 5 courses. If you're in 6 or 7, you're probably not even going to have time to shower, depending on what program you're in. So if any of these apply to you, I would say that there's a great chance to talk about that in your cover letter, how this won't be a barrier, and how there should be an exception made for you if you think you're in that position. So in terms of where to next, so you've attended the informational session. Resume and cover letter are required on that HR website by February 24th. I think that's late at night. Attach that unofficial degree audit report form. Don't make me chase you, please, because I will just have to email you afterwards. And then we'll go through applications sort of the week of the 27th. Even the 25th if I can, and we'll let you know if you've been invited to a group interview, which is your chance to show us your teamwork skills and the way you respond to different scenarios, and that'll be held on Sunday, March 12th. Following that, so we have a team of 30 to 35 that we're looking to hire, and then we probably have about 10 RLAs from this year's team returning, 10 to 12. So there are a limited number of positions, but yeah, we're looking to build diverse teams, that represent lots of different personality types and experiences. So please don't count yourself out. Just apply and see what happens. But you should know by sort of mid-March, and that can help you make your plans for next year. Just a quick note on what you put in a cover letter. So please don't chat GPT a cover letter. I don't want to read an AI cover letter times 50 or whatever. Just really simply write. And I would say if you're not sure, just do a voice to text thing. Why you want to be an RLA, why you think you do a good job, and this has to like a sentence or two. Not a big deal. Hi, my name is Bill and I want to be an RLA because I like helping people. I think I do a good job because I'm dependable, and I really enjoy meeting people from different cultures. I've lived in residence the last year. My grade point average is 75%. I don't plan on doing any other work. And if any of those exceptions apply, as I said before, that's a good chance to talk about those things. Now, if you want to come see me and want me to check your cover letter, this is also a good chance to get good at writing cover letters, because they are archaic but still part of job application processes. So applications are due to HR online. I send out the link, but I'll send it out again February 24th. Does anyone have any questions? Let me just stop sharing. There. Oh, Sophia. Somewhat late. Welcome, Sophia. So yeah, now that I've been through the presentation, by the way, we recorded this, so I'm going to put it on the YouTube, and I'll send that link around. But does anyone have any question about the job, the pay, the timeline, anything like that? You can put it in the chat as well.
Laura, someone approached me yesterday with a pretty good question, if you want me to share that with everyone here.
Let's hear it.
So, I had an engineering student come up to me and ask me about time management with the job, and because he has classes late at night. So I was wondering if he could still work even though he has classes that may end up going in the shift. So basically, at the beginning of every month, the RLA team will get together and make the schedule together so everyone has the ability to work on days that work well for them. It's not always going to be, okay, you work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's whenever you're available to work and works best with the team. Also, a good thing about the job is that you're at the desk, and like in Blanchard Hall, right behind me, I have a whiteboard. So whenever it's a slower night, I'm able to just take out my book and my iPad and I can start studying even when I'm working. I'm able to stay on top of my notes and be able, because I'm a pre-vet student, so I do have a lot of the heavy biology courses. So I'm still able to study at the same time as working, so it's not too overwhelming. So you're really able to work around your schedule.
Yeah, good point, Chanel. Any other questions that people have? No dumb questions.
One I can think of is I've had a lot of people say they would like to apply as an RLA, but they just don't feel they can have those kind of difficult conversations. They don't feel they can do some parts of the job, like in like the harder mental health kind of conversations. And I just want to reassure everybody that you do receive training. We do, and we have an amazing team that have past experiences and continue to experience it through the job with these difficult conversations, and we are able to just help that get along, and you also develop that skill of having that toolbox of being able to help people even in some of the worst times of their lives.
And it's not just 2 hours watch this video McDonald's training. It's weeks. It's a couple of weeks, and we really work together to practice. We do simulations. It's pretty skill intensive. It makes a difference.
And you get really close with your team too, and they're able to support you throughout the whole year. Any scenario, you'll have a team that really can help you manage the situations in the best way possible, and they'll always have your back. Like, you get really close with your coworkers, and that's a part of the job that I really do like. You get your own little family on residence, and it's just really fun to be able to work with everyone.
Yeah, very cool. Well, if there's no other questions, we might wrap it up there, but feel free to hit us up on the Instagram if anything comes to mind, or pop by the office, or talk to your RLA. Thanks everyone for coming today. Thanks Ryan and Chanel. I'll see you later.